Welcome to the Kevin Dunn Show, and we are excited that you've joined us today. We have a very, very profound special guest today, none other than Monica Pearson, who was the anchor for WSB TV Atlanta for over 37 years. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back, and we're going to find out more about Monica.
This is a very special day for us here at Channel 2. We are celebrating Monica's 35th year anchoring and reporting here at WSB TV. It is quite an accomplishment for a remarkable person.
I'm Monica Kaufman. Monica Kaufman. Monica Kaufman. Monica Kaufman. Action News.
Since 1975, Monica has delivered the news to Metro Atlanta viewers with integrity, dedication, and warmth. For 3.5 decades, she's been the one WSB viewers have turned to and trusted when they want to get the major news of the day.
There's no other anchor in the country like Monica. And whether she's a Kaufman or a Pearson, she is just Monica, and she has made an incredible mark and left an incredible legacy in this city and in the state.
Monica doesn't just anchor the evening newscasts. She has and continues to this day to go all over Georgia, across the United States, even to other countries to report compelling stories.
The time I think we both enjoyed the most was going to Oslo to cover President Carter getting the Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, it's like you. Monica, it's always good to be with you.
Thank you. Academy Award right now.
And during her years hosting close-ups, Monica has interviewed many of the world's best-known entertainers.
Time and time again, you heard many actors say, wow, how did you know that?
Yes, how did you know that?
How do you know that?
Where did you find that out? Jesus, you know too much about me. Oh, you've done some homework.
And she always was able to find out some little nugget of information about these big stars to get a kind of response that no one else got all day long in these interviews.
For her work, Monica has received some of journalism's highest honors, 29 Emmy Awards, the Women's Sports Journalism Award. She received 2 National American Women in Radio and Television Awards. And from her home state, Kentucky, she was inducted into that state's Journalism Hall of Fame.
She really cares about the viewers, and I have the highest, utmost respect for her as a journalist. And we're so fortunate to have her, and the industry is so fortunate to have someone like her as an icon for many, many people to look up to.
That's amazing, 35 years.
Thank you.
And, I remember the first day you came to WSB back in 1975.
Yes.
And I said, she's destined for great things. And I would say you haven't changed a bit. We saw the video. We know you've changed.
Quite a bit.
And I would say I've watched you since I was a kid, but I won't say that.
It's true, though.
It is true. But I do want to thank you for something both of you have done, is that you're the real people here on the air as you are in person, and I've tried to model that, and I just want viewers to know that you're the real deal, and we love you.
Well, thank you. John and I have how many years together?
Let's see, 46,
between us,
35,
81 years.
Want to go for 100?
Yeah, let's do it. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to the Kevin Dunn Show, and as I shared with you earlier, we have a very special guest, Monica Pearson from WSB TV Atlanta.
Can you believe it's been a year? When I looked at that clip, it's been a year since I retired.
A year?
Yes.
So what has retirement been like?
Wonderful. I wish I'd done it sooner. But I'm finding that I'm busier now than I was when I was working. How does that happen?
I do not know.
How does that happen? But I'm finally doing the things I've always wanted to do, the things I had put on hold when I was working. Because when I was at WSB for 37 years, I was anchoring the news. I was doing the 5, I was doing the 6, and I was doing the 11. And then the last year I was there, I was doing the 4 and and the 6. So I haven't had time to breathe. And I've just been so tied up on the treadmill of news that the first week of retirement, I didn't really retire because I started to the University of Georgia 2 weeks after I quit work. I'm getting my master's in mass communications, journalism and mass communications, so I can teach. So I really haven't had any what you call downtime where I could really prop up my feet, go sit on my dock and throw a fishing line in because I've been in school. And it's been so exciting, Kevin, to be a student again. Because when I graduated from college, it was in 1975. So I have been out of school a long time.
I bet it's been a great transition for you since 75.
I tell you, being with young people makes you young. And being in classes, everyone says, why are you taking journalism classes? I'm studying media theory, which of course I did not study because my degree originally is English and philosophy. I am learning about diversity in ways so that it makes me more aware of my surroundings, what I see, what I read, and the stereotypes that are there that people regularly see and internalize. I am learning to write academically, which is very different from writing for television. And I am finding out what our young people of today are involved in and what they're doing. I feel so alive going to school at the University of Georgia. I love it. I could become a professional student. You know, I went in saying, I'm just going to get my master's. I'm just going to get my master's so I can teach, because that's what's required. But now I'm actually toying with the idea of getting a master's in fine arts or getting a PhD, because both of those are terminal degrees, just so I'll have it.
That's incredible. As seasoned as you are.
Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
You said that. I didn't.
Well, the other thing I've learned very quickly, and I think I don't want to share this with your audience. If you're over the age, I think it's of 60 in the state of Georgia, you can go to school for free. Now, everyone gets in before you. You're the last allowed to get in. But it's free, and you pay for your books and you pay for your fees. So if you never went to college and you wanted to, and you're over the age of 60, if it's a state college, you can go for free. Just buy your books, pass the test. You still have to take the test.
Still test,
You still have to take those tests to get you in. But I think what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is retirement for me doesn't mean I'm tired. I intend to wear out, not rust out.
You've given me 3 incredible sayings since you arrived, and I have to write those down later on.
Oh, the one in particular that, you know, man proposes and God disposes. That is so true, because when I look at my life, I never thought I would be on television. When I was growing up, you didn't see people of color on television.
No doubt.
Except in entertainment programming. I remember Diane Carroll, the actress, who played Julia. But there weren't many shows, so I was going to be a teacher. And as fate would have it, and as God would plan it, I ended up in a career where I really do teach, or did teach in many ways. Because doing a news story, how you put it together, and then always asking the questions that the viewer wants answered, that makes a big difference. That's educating. And then the public affairs part of television, when you're doing the speeches, when you in the schools, on career days, when you're participating in a breast cancer walk, those things are giving back to the community. So in a way, I see myself still as a teacher. Even though I'm no longer in the business, I'm still teaching.
And you're still getting opportunities to teach.
Oh, yes. I love it.
Tell us a little bit, where are you from? Where were you born?
I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. I was just joking a few moments ago, you know, they say about Kentucky, it's the state of beautiful horses and fast women.
Beautiful horses and fast women, all right.
And they're known for their bluegrass and their bourbon. I grew up in a little part of Louisville called Smoketown. It was in the shadow of Hillerich and Bradsby Bat Company. It was called Smoketown because there was a lot of industry in that area. My mother was a single parent. My parents divorced when I was 3. And my mother never made more than minimum wage. And we have what we call Hattieisms in my family. So here's another one. My mother always said, it's not where you're from, it's where you're going to. And she always felt that education was the key to your success. So she was the first person in my family to graduate from high school. I'm the second and the first to graduate from college on the maternal side. So my mother was really very, and still is at 90, very strong, very faith-filled, very, how can I put it? She never held her tongue. She always used to say to me, it's what you do with what you have that makes you what you are. Which means each and every one of us, God built with special things inside that make us unique.
True.
There's no one else like you, Kevin. There's no one else exactly like me. And he's put everything in us that we need to succeed. It's being able to pull it out. And oftentimes we're held back, or we feel we're held back by our circumstances, when in reality it's our fear that holds us back. It's our low self-esteem that holds us back. And so that's why Mom always said, it's what you do with what you have that makes you what you are.
Wow, that's incredible.
So that was, you know, Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Kentucky Derby, but also the home of Diane Sawyer from ABC News. She was a weather girl in Louisville, Kentucky. She's not much older than I am, but she was a weather girl. And I got into television in a time when women had to have hair down to here, chest out to here, and not much up to here. That's reality. Women were window dressing. But luckily, when news became serious, they needed journalists. And I had been a newspaper reporter and then got a job in television. So again, you always have to be ready for opportunities and never be shy about talking about yourself. That's how I got my job in television. I went for a job in television first because I've been working at the newspaper. I auditioned for a position, and I was told I didn't look the part, but that I had a good voice, and that I was a good writer, but I wrote too newspaper style. So I said, well, what do I need to do? And that's what most people don't do. When someone tells you you're not right for it, instead of saying, well, what could I do to be right for it? Most people go, okay, thank you, and leave. I asked, well, how can I get into the business? What do I need to do? So the man was kind enough to tell me, you might want to take a charm course to learn to do hair and makeup. You might want to learn how to write for television. Our writing is more conversational. So I went to charm school. Part of that charm modeling school was to go to Bick's department store in Louisville, and you would dress, and then you would go to the nearby restaurant, and you would tell people about what you had on. Well, this woman says to me, what do you do when you're not doing this? And I told her, you should be working in television. Her husband was the news director of WHAS-TV. Now, if I had just, when she asked me the question, what do you do, and had not given her my complete resume, I'd probably still be walking around in Bick's department store trying to get a job.
That's incredible. Wow.
But the lesson for me and to my young people, and I tell them that all the time, just because someone tells you no, it doesn't mean it's a permanent no.
Monica, hold that thought just for a second. We're going to have to take a quick commercial break.
We got to sell something.
We got to sell something. We're going to come right back with more Monica Kaufman, more Monica Pearson after these messages. Hello, welcome back with the Kevin Dunn Show. We're here with Monica Pearson, and we're having such a great time, and Monica is giving us so much valuable information. Monica, can you tell us, you were a news anchor for WSB TV Atlanta for 37 years. What was the biggest challenge you had to overcome by being in that position?
Trying not to be all things to all people. Everyone expects something from you. Women expect you to raise their flag. Breast cancer survivors, because I'm a breast cancer survivor, expect you to wave their flag. African Americans expect you to wave their flag. And you must stay, there's no such thing as objectivity, because in that sense, each of us has a viewpoint. But it's knowing when your viewpoint should not bleed into a story. So that whenever I tried to do a story, I tried to get all sides. Your side, my side, and then that third side. And by that I mean, I remember a story we did that was on not too long ago where a teacher was really punished for dancing on the desk with his students. And the parents were upset he should be teaching, and the school system was upset. But no one ever asked the question, why was he doing it?
Why was he doing it?
And then, why is it we punished him, but we applaud Ron Clark when he does the same thing in his school for students who've improved their grades. And as I learned later, the reason the teacher did it was because these students had improved their grades. But there were 3 sides to that story, and the question was never asked. So that's getting back to why I'm so excited about being in school, because it teaches you to view things very differently. So over the 37 years that I was an anchor, I think the biggest thing, the hardest thing to do was to remain unbiased and objective. And that meant bringing other people's viewpoints into play. Doing your research.
Now, was journalism, when did you decide in life that you wanted to become a journalist? Was that your first love?
I look back at my life and I think I've always been getting prepared to do this, but didn't know that that's what I was going to do. I wrote on my high school newspaper. I wrote on my college newspaper, the University of Louisville. I wrote a teen column for the Louisville Defender, which was the black newspaper in Louisville, Kentucky. But again, I didn't see people like me doing it in what we call mainstream media. So it never occurred to me. So my degree is in English and philosophy. I had planned to be an English teacher.
Wow. So you can honestly say that if you had not walked into this career, that you would be teaching?
I would be teaching. And I think that's kind of always been my dream. For the last 10 years, I've been a reader in the Atlanta public school system once a week to first graders. I love being around children, and I love teaching them the enjoyment of reading. So I think it's in my DNA to be a teacher.
And I know they love it too.
Oh, I love it as much as they do.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit about your family. You have any kids?
I have a daughter who is 33.
Okay.
She turns on September the 6th. She turned 33.
Okay.
She's my only child.
Okay.
And Claire runs Aaron's Rent. She owns an Aaron's franchise in Defuniak Springs, Florida.
Okay.
She graduated from Illinois Wesleyan University in Bloomington Normal, Illinois, and she goes back and forth. She's a wonderful child. She's my joy. And then I have a stepson, Johnny, whose birthday was September the 9th, and he turned 28. His birthday is actually the day we're recording this.
Well, happy birthday.
So he's 28, and he lives in Kansas. So the kids are grown. We do have now 10 puppies.
We were talking about those puppies.
Yes, I have German Shepherds. John got me into German Shepherds. John is the assistant police chief in Hogansville. And so we now have 10 German Shepherd puppies.
Not 1, 2, 5, but 10.
10, and I'm learning to cook for puppies and picking up puppy poop. From the job of a big television anchor to puppy poop picker-upper.
Puppy poop picker-upper. You said that with no problem. Out of all the stories you covered in your career, during your career, what was the 2 top stories you've covered that has the most impact on your life?
Easy. Going to Oslo, Norway, when President Jimmy Carter won the Nobel Peace Prize, and being there, seeing this moment in history. And then the second would be covering the inauguration of Barack Obama as the first African-American President of the United States. That's a no-brainer. Then if you ask me about personalities in my close-up show, Dolly Parton is my all-time favorite.
Dolly.
Because we sat across from each other and it was like talking to a girlfriend. And she was funny and honest and open and sincere and intelligent. That cotton candy look has nothing to do with what's up here. And then another interview I think would be the one that I did with Paul Newman when he rode me around Road Atlanta in his Z, which was fun.
I bet it was. Did it
I've
go
had
fast?
some yeah. I loved it.
Okay. Now, Monica, you are a woman of integrity, a woman of character. How have you maintained that status, being a woman of this magnitude for so many years?
My mother is always in my head, and that's the only way I can explain it. I would never want to do anything that would disappoint my mother or harm my mother or my child or my husband. So whenever I have to make a decision, I not only ask myself, would this be a good decision if I were not being selfish? You know, sometimes we make decisions because, oh, I want to do that. I just want to do it, not looking at what the repercussions can be. And I always ask myself, what will this lead to in terms of my family?
Okay.
Can I stand to see this on Action News or on the headlines of a newspaper? So I constantly live my life as if there's a camera on it all the time.
That's awesome.
Because I don't ever want to disappoint my mother, my family. I don't ever want to disappoint my God.
Wow.
Simple as that.
That's incredible.
Simple as that. Now, I make my mistakes.
Okay. We all do.
But, you know, I pray for forgiveness.
Okay.
And I don't make them again.
That's incredible. And you say you came from a single parent family.
Yes.
Now, a lot of our listeners who may be watching, listening, who aspire to do what you have done, but they feel they don't have that proper balance at home as a mother and father.
Yes.
What would you share with them?
Well, my mother, you know, again, is what you do with what you have that makes you what you are. And my mother said, don't make excuses, make work. And that's it. Don't get me started. We could do a whole nother show on people making excuses about why they can't do what they want to do. You're limiting yourself. God has set no limits on you. It doesn't matter what your parents did or didn't do. It's what you do. You're the one sitting in that classroom who should be gaining the skills that will make you successful. You can't blame a teacher for you not doing your homework and not being prepared for a test. And see, to me, that's the problem with this generation.
Okay.
Everybody wants to be a victim. Stop it right now. Take responsibility for yourself and for your actions. And just because your father is an alcoholic doesn't mean you have to be. Just because your mother is on drugs doesn't mean you have to be. What it means is you have to work harder to be successful, and you've got to believe that you've got it in here and you can do it. It means hiding away where you need to study. Do you know what I mean? Getting away from the noise, going to a neighbor's house, asking another family if you can be a part of their family. What I'm saying to you is don't make excuses and don't be a victim.
Wow. And you are passionate about that
I am. I really am. Because when I look back at my life and people telling my mother, she's never going to amount to anything, you're never going to amount to anything because you live in Smoketown. I say make a lie out of people.
Wow, incredible. 50 years from now, when the name Monica Pearson comes up, what would you hope to have people be saying when the name Monica Pearson comes up 50 years from now?
50 years from now, let's see, I am 65 right now. I might still be here.
Exactly.
In all honesty, I just want people to remember me as a nice woman, a good mother, a good wife, a good reporter and anchor, a good person. If they can say that about me, that's it. But you know, I've learned one thing. Doesn't matter what other people say about you. It's how you feel about yourself. So it really doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter?
It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
My legacy, my legacy is my daughter, my stepson, and what I leave to others. That's it. You know, if someone takes something from this show that they can use to make their life better, then that's my legacy.
That's your legacy. And is your daughter anything like you at all?
Not at all.
Totally opposite.
Totally opposite. She's very personable and she's really good with people, but she would never get in this business. She hated television because she felt it took too much time away from her. But she is a businesswoman, which I could never be. She's excellent in terms of people. She knows how to work people. I've never seen, she's a salesman. I'll just be real blunt with you, she's a salesman. She made more money in her commissions than she made in her base salary when she was in sales, which is the reason she's in business for herself now. So she has my personality, but she has a much more grounded sense of business, whereas I don't. I mean, I can balance a checkbook and I know how to talk to people, but I can't run a business. I really can't.
All right.
I know my limits.
I'm honored that you came to share with us today. We're
Thank
just
you
about
for
out of time,
me.
and we're going to definitely have to bring you and your husband back so we can go more into detail.
I would love to.
And we appreciate you and what you have done for society and all of your accomplishments. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Kevin.
Wish you well.
Thank you.
God bless.